Hi everyone, so today we're going to be going through another 2020 election prediction between Donald Trump of New York and Bernie Sanders of Vermont. So Bernie Sanders, I think, would be the next most likely person to be the Democratic nominee, and once we get past like the top 5, 6, even 7 candidates, it'll start to be a bit more random since there's not much of a difference whether you're polling at 0.9% or 1.1%. You get the idea. So let's just get right into this video. So Bernie Sanders, I see taking Western states: Washington, Oregon, California, Hawaii, New Mexico, Illinois, Vermont, Massachusetts, Rhode Island, Connecticut, New Jersey, Delaware, Maryland, the District of Columbia, Trump's home state of New York, Maine at large, and Maine's first district. I see both going to Bernie Sanders. I'm going to come back to the second district in a little bit. Okay, so hopefully you can still hear me. Next, we're going to go through the Donald Trump states. So Alaska, Utah, Idaho, Wyoming, Montana, North Dakota, South Dakota, Kansas, Oklahoma, Louisiana, Arkansas, there we go, Missouri, Mississippi, Alabama, South Carolina, Tennessee, Kentucky, Indiana, and West Virginia. So these all move into the safe Trump column, along with most of Nebraska, except for that second congressional district. Okay, so we're going to start off with the western states, move up into the north, the south, and the Rust Belt. But first, we're going to actually start off with Nebraska. There was a progressive who ran in the 2018 midterms. She came up short against Republican incumbent Don Bacon. I see Donald Trump winning that second district in Nebraska. Okay, in Colorado, we see Bernie Sanders winning the state of Colorado. Democrats did very well here in the 2018 midterms. Hillary Clinton was able to win the seat. It's been consistently trending Democratic. Colorado moves into the likely Democratic column. In the state of Nevada, this one moves into the leaning Democratic column. In 2016, Hillary Clinton was able to carry the district. In 2018, Democrats were very successful in the midterms there. So Nevada moves into the Democratic column. In the state of Arizona, we see Donald Trump narrowly carrying the state. The person who was able to win here in 2018 was a moderate centrist, and so I don't think that Bernie Sanders would be able to appeal to the same kind of voters. I see Arizona moving into the Donald Trump column. Same thing with the state of Texas. Texas actually moves into the likely Democratic column. Because again, Donald Trump really did not do well here in the Republicans did not do very well here in 2018. They lost many congressional races. They almost lost the Senate seat, a high-profile one, statewide election. But again, Bernie Sanders, I don't see being the candidate who can win in Texas. Okay, moving into the South, Florida, Georgia, North Carolina. 3 states where Republicans did well in the midterms. 3 states where the few people who won were not as progressive. Bernie Sanders, very progressive. I see these 3 states moving into the Donald Trump column. But in Virginia, I see this one being quite an easy win for the senator of Vermont. I see the Democratic base in the northern Virginia suburbs coming out in droves to support him. I see the DC area coming out in support of the Vermont senator, and I actually think he could do better than expected in some rural areas in Virginia, some rural Republican areas. Okay, 218 for Bernard Sanders, 235 for Donald J. Trump. Okay, moving into the Northeast, this is an area where I think Bernie Sanders can do very well in because, again, he's from Vermont. I see his sort of policies, his rhetoric really resonating with Northeastern voters in a way that someone like Joe Biden's or a Hillary Clinton's or a Kamala Harris's might not. I actually see him flipping that second district in Maine narrowly with the help of ranked choice voting. I think he could do well there, and I think obviously in New Hampshire he could do very well there, winning by a very comfortable spread against Donald Trump. Okay, so 235 for Donald Trump, 223 for Bernie Sanders. 80 electoral votes from the Midwest decide this election. Okay, let's get some obvious things out of the way. Minnesota, this one moves into the Democratic column just because, again, Minnesota is just quite a Democratic state now, and I think Democrats, you need to see how well they did here in the 2018 midterms. They won three, that's right, three high-profile statewide races here. Tim Walz in the governor's race, Amy Klobuchar for the Senate race, Tina Smith for the other Senate race. They picked up 2 seats, and yes, Republicans did pick up 2 seats in more Republican rural areas, but Democrats did very well here in the 2018 midterms. Wisconsin also moves into the Democratic column. Same thing with Michigan, just because, again, Democrats' success in the midterms, and I think Bernie Sanders' populist rhetoric could work well in the state of Michigan. Okay, so Michigan moves into the Democratic column. Pennsylvania also moves into the Democratic column. I think, again, his populist rhetoric could work well with swing voters in the suburbs and also some Trump voters who feel disenfranchised in the rural areas of Pennsylvania. Okay, so that officially puts Bernie Sanders over the mark at 279 electoral votes to Trump's 235. I see Bernie Sanders carrying, in addition to those states, the state of Iowa very narrowly. I think Trump's tariffs have really hurt the farmers here. I think that Bernie Sanders could do well in the primaries in Iowa. I think that success with his populist rhetoric could carry over into the general election. But I don't think it would be quite enough to win him the state of Ohio. I think Ohio would be very close. But at the end of the day, I think that Trump would bring out his base enough, whereas where to Ohio narrowly goes towards the President of the United States. 253 for Donald Trump, 285 for Bernie Sanders. Let me know what you think in the comments section below. Thank you for watching this video. Comment down your suggestions below, and I'll see you all in